Let's take a closer look at the structure of a chloroplast and where photosynthesis occurs. Like mitochondria, chloroplasts have double membranes. Here's the outer membrane and here's the inner membrane. And within the inner membrane is this fluid called the stroma. So if you remember in mitochondria, the inner membrane and the intermembrane space here were both sites of cellular respiration processes, but this is different in chloroplasts because chloroplasts actually have a third type of membrane that are found in the stroma. These are layers of membranes in the stroma where the photosynthetic processes occur. One singular membrane disc is called the thylakoid, and this surrounds the lumen. Multiple thylakoids stacked on top of each other form grana, or singular granum. So the thylakoid membranes are the site of light reactions, whereas the stroma is the site for the dark reactions. So in summary, chloroplast has a double membrane, but it also has a third membrane called the thylakoid membranes, which form grana, and the light reactions occur in the thylakoids, whereas the dark reactions occur in the stroma.
Mitochondria, the sites of cellular respiration. By the process of diffusion, oxygen enters the cells from the blood or from the surroundings. Mitochondria present inside the cell use this oxygen for respiration and energy production. Mitochondria are therefore called the powerhouses of the cell. Mitochondria are absent in the prokaryotes. In these organisms, cell membrane takes care of energy production through similar reactions. Due to their extremely small size, mitochondria cannot be even seen with an ordinary microscope. However, they can be seen with a special microscope called electron microscope. Mitochondria are sac-like structures present in the cytoplasm of the cells. They come in various shapes, like threads, spears, or clubs. Mitochondria consists of two compartments, an inner compartment and an outer compartment. The substance in the inner compartment is called matrix. The matrix is surrounded by a membrane called inner membrane of mitochondria. The inner membrane is thrown into several folds called cristae. The cristae extend into the matrix. The space between the folds is continuous without outer compartment. On the inner membrane projecting into the matrix are large number of particles called elementary particles. These particles have a spherical head and a stalk. They are attached to the inner membrane by their stalk, and the head portion of the particle is in the matrix. The outer compartment is surrounded by another membrane, the outer membrane. The outer membrane is smooth and has no projections. The inner membrane, the matrix, and the elementary particles in the mitochondria have large number of enzymes and other required proteins for the respiration and energy production.
Science is the best tool ever devised for understanding how the world works.
Science is a very human form of knowledge. We are always at the brink of the node. Science is a collaborative enterprise spanning the generations. We remember those who prepared the way, seeing through them also.
If you're scientifically literate, the world looks very different to you, and that understanding empowers you.
There's real poetry in the real world. Science is the poetry of reality.
We can do science, and with it, we can improve our lives.
There's real poetry in the real world. Science is the poetry of reality.
The story of humans is a story of ideas that shine light into dark corners.
Scientists love mysteries. They love not knowing.
I don't feel frightened by not knowing things. I think it's much more interesting.
There's a larger universal reality of which we are all a part.
The further we probe into the universe, the more remarkable are the discoveries we make.
The quest for the truth in and of itself is a story that's filled with insights.
There's real poetry in the real world. Science is the poetry of reality.
We can do science, and with it, we can improve our lives.
There's real poetry in the real world. Science is the poetry of reality.
The story of humans is a story of ideas that shine light into dark corners.
From our lonely point in the cosmos, we have, through the power of thought, been able to peer back to a brief moment after the beginning of the universe.
I think that science changes the way your mind works, to think a little more deeply about things.
Science replaces private prejudice